Well, here we have Janet Gonzalez, who is a personal friend of mine, and she grew up with my Aunt Lucy and my aunts and uncles in Soundview. And today is Janet's birthday. Happy birthday, Janet.
Thank you, thank you. This weekend always falls on my birthday, so it's a guaranteed.
And how old are you? Like 32?
Again? Yes.
You're looking good, girl.
Oh, thank you, Monica. You know, it's been good. It's been good. Life has been very, very good to me. You know, but you keep going. You keep going. You know, it's not over till it's over.
And Janet also comes from a good family. One of her sisters, unfortunately, has passed on, Doris, you know, and she was an integral part of that community as well. And her other siblings, you know, close with my family as well. Anything you want to share?
Wow. Well, you know, growing up in Soundview, it was such a great childhood. That's one thing that I have to say. We played all kind of sports and games. There were big families that came out of Soundview. We were one of them. You know, my mother moved into Soundview with no kids, then eventually had 4. The other Christians, the Cheverezes, these are all of these families. They had, you know, 10, 12, 14 children. So it was such a community. It was such a family. We were all brothers and sisters. There was no relation. You know, we weren't the Arroyos or the Christians. We were just one big, happy family.
And it didn't matter. I mean, people, different religions, different ethnic backgrounds, you know, white, black, Hispanic, you know, there was like, somebody was just saying, like, there was no color, there was no race. We were family, we were friends. And one of the things that you could say, like, any transitions that you noticed growing up in the area?
The neighborhood has changed a lot, you know, as in everything else. It's all up to the community. If you want to keep the place up, it's all about the individuals who are living there. Soundview will always be Soundview to us. This is why we have this reunion every year, because the love, the gratitude, the admiration for one another, it just continues to grow every year, and hopefully we'll pass that on to our children. And their children. So you know what? We had a good grounding in our lives, and we just hope to pass that on to others.
And what school did you study at in Soundview?
Okay, well, from Soundview, we all went, our alma maters were 107, IS 131. Either you went to James Monroe or Adelaide E. Stevenson. I went to Stevenson. My sisters went to Monroe. And then I had my other sister, she went to Dodge. So there were, you know, we were all over the place. But you know what? We brought everybody into the Soundview community.
You know, and Janet's a living example of, you know, working hard for what you want. She's a go-getter. You know, she eventually moved out. She got a nice house in the suburbs. And a lot of these people, some of them became doctors, lawyers. You know, they come from all walks of life, work really hard, took their education seriously, you know.
Wow, and that's absolutely the truth. Our parents, you know, school during that era, school was so important. We all went to school together. We all looked for each other. I have my friend Lucy here, who's Monica's aunt. I met her in kindergarten, and today, when I tell you that we are truly sisters, we are like blood sisters. I mean, the friends that you have made during those years, it's irreplaceable. There's nothing like this family of Soundview people.
And I have to say that, you know, most of my mother's friends became my friends, Lucy's friends, my friends. You know, I'm close with Janet today, and we learn so much from each other.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I guess we have all embraced each other, because during those years, you know, Lucy and I grew up together because we were the same age. Now here comes Monica. Let me tell you something. No, I have never met anybody as mature in her years as Monica. So that is why I guess we've embraced her. We're helping her through this journey that she's on, and I hope that everyone here participates in I guess embracing this new thing that is coming out of the Soundview reunion.
Hi, Lily. How are you? You look fabulous.
Thank you so much. I'm doing good, thank you.
So Lily, you're from Soundview. What year did your family move there?
I think I was like, wait a minute, I'm not going to tell you how old, but I think it was 1957.
Yeah, a lot of the people here moved to early 50s, late 50s, and lived there for many years. Did you live in Soundview for many years after?
Yes, I lived there till I was 19 years old. And my mother stood there up until 2007 when my father passed away.
So do you still live nearby or you move far away?
No, I'm not too far. I'm right in Pelham Bay.
Oh, okay. I used to live around Pelham Bay too. Brewer Avenue.
Yes, that's where I live.
Oh, look at that. I used to live over there by Hobart, actually.
Okay, all right. I'm by Jarvis.
Great bakeries over there.
Definitely, yes, great.
So did you come from a large family? Are you here alone today? Are you here with your family?
No, there's 5 of us, and they all live out of state. Unfortunately, they're not able to be here today, but
But you're here.
yes, I am. I'm the one that was left here.
Do you have a big family now?
No, I have 3 children. I came from a family of 5. Like a lot of the people in Soundview, everybody had like 5 kids. I don't know how the parents did it in those days, but they did it, and I think they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, I think like back in those days, you know, you had large families, you know, they just make do, you know? I mean, it was about spending time with your family. I mean, now it's very like rush, hustle and bustle, you know, and video games raising your children. Unfortunately, not much, but, you know, it's just a different world. And I just hope that, you know, like I see the people here, I'm sure a lot of them are trying, you know, to instill those values in their kids and pass the baton down to them to, you know, get together every year, celebrate your family, celebrate your friends. It's so important.
Yes, definitely. I believe that also. I believe in family. And we all, my brother and my sister are usually here. Well, my sister's getting married next week. My brother has a new baby coming. And there's a lot of other things going on right now at this time that we all can't be here.
Just let me stay on the
Well, we're still having a great time here at Bridges Bar and Lounge, and it's nighttime. Everybody's hot. They're feeling the music, and here I have
Alfred Casey.
Alfred Casey, and I hear that you're like a historian here.
Pretty not so much of a historian, but pretty much so.
So tell me something that nobody knows about Soundview.
That Soundview was built on pretty much on farmland, and it was inhabited. The barracks that you see over there were for the Army veterans that were coming from the Korean War.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, very interesting.
Yes.
How long were they Army barracks?
I would imagine it would have been there before the 50s, after the Second World War, going into the Korean War. That's when they start building the area there, building up the area there for the veterans that were coming from the war.
So you saw a lot of transitions in the area.
As a young fellow growing up, we were one of the first families living there from 59 up until when I left around 70.
Oh, wow. So you lived there a pretty long time, grew up, had a lot of friends.
When the better years I lived there, yes.
You come from a big family?
We're a family of 5. I lost a sister, back in early 90s. She was ill, you know, and I have one brother and two other sisters.
And do you still live in the area?
Yes, I'm still in the area. I'm still in the Bronx area. I haven't moved out of the Bronx yet. Getting ready to retire soon. And hopefully, with a good Lord willing, good health, I may find some place outside of the Bronx. But until that time, I'm still a Bronxite.
There's still a lot of good stuff happening in the Bronx. You got places like Bridges, and this Stocks Neck area is close to Orchard Beach.
Yes.
City Island.
City Island. Have you been to City Island yet?
Of course. I was born and raised here.
All right. Very good. Very good.
So let me ask you this. You know, growing up in Soundview, like what stood out? Like if I had to think about like what stood out the most, what do you remember?
The family. The families were together. Growing up in the Soundview projects, basically every family's door was open. And, you know, we were in and out of everybody's house. And, you know, they say it takes a village to raise a child.
I've heard that so many times today. And you know what? I'm feeling all of you. I'm totally feeling all of you because it's just so important. And, you know, we want to pass that down. That's right. We have to become a village, raising our children.
Yes.
Taking responsibility.
Responsibility. That's something that you don't see in the young generation nowadays. But fairs like this, we can bring our kids and our grandkids that of age to fairs like that, so they can see what you know their parents went through and the joy that their parents had. Maybe it could rub off on them for them to do the same thing too.
Yeah, because you guys, you know, I'm sure your parents worked really hard for you guys, you know, to succeed. You know, my parents, their parents did as well, and education was very important, and a lot of successful people came out of Soundview.
Yes, it did. They did. Very, very, very much so. Very much so. A lot of successful people.
How are you today, Evelyn?
I'm fine. I'm really enjoying myself. I grew up in Soundview. We lived at 661 Rosedale, and my father was a cop at the time, so we knew all the housing cops. Then we moved to 1689 Randall.
That means nobody messed with you guys.
Oh no, they still mess with us, but hey, we held it down. And from there, we grew up. I lived there 18 years till we moved out, but I still love to come back and enjoy my friends. I knew Denise Casey since I was in 2nd grade, and I'm still hanging with her tough.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is. It's good to see old friends. Melissa, Marissa, all of them is really, you know, touched my heart to see them.
So do you still live in the area?
No, now I live in Co-op City. I'm married. I have 2 kids. Well, not kids, adults, but it's good. But we still keep in touch throughout all of this.
Still go visit?
Yeah, I still go back and visit all the time, all the time.
That's a wonderful thing. So Co-op City's not far away at all.
No, it's not. And I teach, so I go into all the areas, so I love it.
And what do you remember? What's like key to you? If you had to say one thing about Soundview that meant the most to you that you miss?
Family. Everybody was family oriented. Everybody's parents knew each other, and everybody's parents looked out for each other's kids. So that was the greatest thing.
That's right, because you all family here. And that's what I keep hearing, family and village. And you know what? I mean, I just see like the future generations, we have parents like you, they're going to be all right.
Yes, they will.
We have problems in the world today, but nothing's impossible to fix.
No, it's not. I mean, it takes a village to raise a child. And at that time, it was a village. And they raised us well.